Hey, what's up guys? It's Ableton Certified Trainer P-LASK here. I make music and sounds as P-LASK and Man from Another Place. And today we're going to be tackling one of my favorite genres, which is modern UK garage or UK garage. Based on where you are in the world, regionally, you may say that differently. But we're going to be analyzing a few songs from artists like Sammy Virji, Predator, Georgia Smith, DJ Sean T, and Shuga, just to name a few. We'll take a listen to some songs. We will find some common elements that carry throughout those songs, and we'll try to recreate some of those elements and put together a song of our own in the genre. I'm going to be going through the process in Ableton Live, and this is assuming that you've got a little bit of experience with that DAW already, but even beginners should find something to be able to latch onto and follow along with here. I'll be offering a lot of workflow tips and hacks along the way. We'll build the track together in the session view. We'll put together some scenes. Finally, we'll arrange it, mix and master it. I'll walk through some of the sound design as well as we build some of the elements together in various synths. We'll put the drums together, and there's even a sample pack included with all the drum samples as well as the vocal loops and things that I'll be using and cutting up for the track. I'm really excited about this one, so stick around and hopefully you'll learn something on this journey through modern UK garage. So now it's time to start adding some melodic and harmonic elements into the song. I wanted to start by laying down a chord progression with a pad sound, and I'm looking for like a smooth, vibey kind of pad sound, and I think that sine waves might be a good place to start. Don't underestimate the power of a good sine wave pad with a bit of detuning, of course. So I'm going to grab the operator synth from the Ableton library here, and the reason for that is solely because the default preset is just a sine wave. We're gonna maybe turn the spread up a little bit here though. That's gonna basically just do a bit of a unison detuning type of effect. Maybe we'll go up to like 80%. So if I hold a chord down, yeah, we got a little bit of movement there. And I want to make some more adjustments to this patch, but do I want to write the chords first? Let's make a few small tweaks here. So I want to change the algorithm. Because this is an FM synth that uses these different algorithms for how the different oscillators are connected together. I'm going to use this one here, which is basically giving me two FM pairs. And I'm thinking of doing that because now I have a separate carrier, oscillator C. I'm going to change this to a noise oscillator and just maybe blend that in a little. Just a tiny bit. As we play more chords, then we'll start to hear that a little bit more. And then I might use oscillator B just to do a little light FM to oscillator A and make it sound a little bit more organ-like. I might want to adjust the envelope on that. So let's click on envelope. Maybe the coarse tuning as well. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Bring the volume level down a bit though. Just subtle effect, and then maybe pull the decay time up a bit. So it just gives it a little bit of a transient. Let's add some chords to this now. So I can, of course, play chords on my MIDI controller. I personally am not very good at that, but we have this amazing Max for Live device that came with Ableton Live Suite 12.1, I believe it was, 12.1 or 12.2, called Expressive Chords. And if you don't have that, if you own Ableton Live Suite, Ableton Live 12 Suite, and you don't see it in your Max for Live devices, you can go to packs here, and you should find it under your available packs. It comes with Ableton Live Suite. It's part of the update. I think it was 12.2 if I remember correctly. But anyway, it's Expressive Chords. It's right here, and it comes with the device and then a bunch of chord sets. But if I go to my Max for Live folder here, I can see it there. If I unfold it, I see the different chord sets, which are basically presets. I'm going to load it onto my operator track, and the idea with this is that I can play single notes. That's kind of like mapped to the push here, but you can use just a regular MIDI controller with MIDI keyboard if you want to. But the idea is that when you play a single note, it triggers different chords in a set. And so there are all these different genres. All the different presets are loaded with chords that are commonly used in different genres. I'm loading this 90s R&B chord set here because a lot of garage or garage music is heavily influenced by R&B. I figured that would be a good one to work with. So I'm just going to kind of noodle around here and see some of these chords and maybe get something going here. That's nice. Yeah, let's record something in. So I'm going to hit record here on this empty clip slot. Let's maybe call this pad. Hit record. I'll keep the drums going so I can hear some context. Okay. So we've got just the single notes that I played in, but it would be nice to actually see the chords. So I'm going to re-record the MIDI onto another MIDI channel here in a second, but let's just tighten up the performance. I don't really need this first little bit here. I think I'll probably just take from here to here. I got about a 4-bar pattern there. Let's quantize these notes. So I've got that group of notes selected. I'm going to press Shift Command or Shift Control U. That'll take me right to my quantize settings here in my little tool tabs. And I'll quantize to, I think we can quantize to the current grid, which is quarter notes. That should be fine. Let's hit transform. And then I'm also going to take all the notes and make them legato. Let me take these A notes as well. So let's just grab all of these here. And then I'm going to go back to my pitch and time tools here, and I'm going to hit legato. Now I want the last chord to come in a little bit early, so let's maybe shorten this down. Do the same thing here in the second set of 4 bars. Shorten the loop brace down. Still want that to come in a little earlier. What's my grid size? 16th notes? Yeah, maybe we'll have it come in that 8th note. Yeah, do the same thing here on the last one. Perfect. Okay, so let's just crop this clip. Crop the time selection. Whoops, I had a single note selected there, so it just cropped it down to 1 note. Let me click the loop brace and then crop clip to time selection. Cool, and then we'll set up another MIDI channel. Shift Command T or Shift Control T. We'll just call this MIDI chord. I'll open my inputs and outputs, and I'm going to tell this track to receive the MIDI from my pad track right here. And this is important. I want to make sure it receives it post FX, because Expressive Chords is a MIDI effect, and it's creating or generating MIDI notes for me that are then triggering my synth. I want to make sure it gets the MIDI post FX. We'll just hit record on this track. Cool, and there's our 4 bars. So now I can go back to my pad track. I can actually just remove, or I'll just move it out of the way here and deactivate it. The original clip, I'll move this clip over. Let me do assign track color to clips. Let's just rename this clip pad, or maybe I'll call it full chords or something like that. I'm going to hit Shift Tab to go over to my device view, and then I'm going to turn the Expressive Chords device off, because now I have the full MIDI in there. Now there are a few pretty dense chords, right? Each chord is about 6 notes, so I want to make a couple changes in operator. Well, before I do that, let's look at these, because there were some odd notes in here. Yeah, that C sharp, I'm not really feeling that. That cleans it up a bit. I think that might put it at like A flat, or A sharp, or B flat, minor, maybe. This kind of resolves on that low A sharp note. Not sure exactly, but they're nice sounding chords. That C sharp was just not jiving with me though, so I wanted to get rid of that. But this is sounding good, so let's go and back into the operator. Let's just maybe process this a little bit, maybe add a little bit to it. How dense are our chords now? We've got... So we'll leave that at that. And then we're going to go over here. We got the spread turned on. Let's use this pitch envelope. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to increase the decay time maybe close to like 1 second, and I'm actually going to bring the pitch envelope to a negative value. And what that's going to do is every time that a new chord is played, we're going to get this cool effect of the pitch kind of bending up. Now it's annoying if it happens on every single chord, but maybe on the first chord of the progression, maybe at the beginning of bar 1, and maybe at the beginning of bar 3, we hear that pitch bend up. So let's just automate that. So if I right click on the pitch envelope dial and I go to show automation, it's going to open up my clip automation for that exact parameter, operator, pitch envelope amount. And then I'll just use my pencil tool and I'll tell it to go to negative 100%. Actually, hold on. I gotta undo something here. Let me go back to the control itself and set it to 0. Now we'll go back over to the automation. Yeah, so we'll just take this first chord, pull the automation all the way down during the first chord. So basically, that pitch envelope is going to jump down to negative 100% when we hear the first chord, and then I'll do it again on the first chord at the beginning of bar 3. Cool. So that's the effect I want. We'll tighten up the decay time a little bit here, just make it a little faster. 800 milliseconds. Yeah, that's nice. Let's bring the sustain level up on this noise oscillator. Drop it a little bit. Let's get a little noise hiss in there like an old organ recorded to tape or something like that. Let's also turn on the LFO. Let's open the filter up all the way too. We don't really need any high frequencies cut out. But the LFO is set to automatically modulate the pitch of all 4 oscillators. Let's just have it modulate the pitch of oscillator A. And that gives it a little bit of like a vibrato effect. It might be a little too intense, so I may dial that down a little bit and maybe reduce the rate. That adds a little liveliness to it. I like that. Let's do like 7% on the amount. That sounds good on the rate. Subtle effect, but it, again, adds a little life to that. And let's just add a couple more things here. Let's add a limiter, just because I've got all these chords stacked up and some of the velocities are slightly different. And we may get some volume spikes here and there, so we'll throw a limiter on it just to kind of catch any of that. There's nothing too drastic there, but we could also just bump the input gain up a little bit on that. The release time down 10 milliseconds, keep it nice and fast, so if any spikes do occur, bring that noise down a little. And then finally, let's use my patented sidechainer smooth, my auto pan preset. If you've seen any of my other tutorials, you know I love this. Just using the auto pan to do like a ducking effect. That's nice. Let's maybe reduce the amount. Let's hear it with the drums. Very cool. So we got these big, vibey, Sammy Virji style organ chords. Pull this oscillator B level down a little bit. I'm sure I'll tweak it a little as we go. But that's sounding good. So we got our pad in place that gives us a nice harmonic backbone to work with as we start to build some other elements. Let's maybe add a bass and some other elements in the next video.